So, what might make a narcissist revalue you after discarding you? If you happen to be able to rebound, to recover from the discard more quickly than they would have expected, then that would most likely cause a shift in heart in the narcissist. You know, things are not happening as they were expecting, as they were planning, and that shifts the ground beneath their feet and their perception of things change. Because when narcissists discard you, they're expecting to get some supply from your misery, your devastation for some time to come. Knowing that you're confused and devastated as a result of the brutality of the discard, of the brutality of the devaluation that came before that, and also the lack of closure. Those are things which the narcissists they expect and in a way they need, because even if they're off to somebody new, they're still getting energized by your devastation, which helps them treat the other person better. The energy that they use to love bomb the other person, to try to ensnare the other person, a lot of that is energy they're recycling from your devastation. It's like they're borrowing your energy. So even if they are on to somebody new and they've discarded you, and they would have left you with no closure, they would have seen to it that you would have been in a very down, dark, miserable place for a long time. They do They expect that you stay there for a long time because they're relying on that post-discard supply from you, on that negative supply from your misery. They're relying on that for a long time, even if you haven't really computed that that's one thing they're doing. So if you bounce back more strongly, more quickly than the narcissist expects, it confuses them. It causes them to question whether or not they underestimated you. It causes them to question whether or not you're more high value than they gave you credit for. And it causes them to question whether this new supply that they're onto is really worth their while. And it also makes it more difficult for them to sustain their efforts on the new supply. And you see, all of those factors point towards the narcissist starting to think about you again in a more positive light. Not because they care about you as a human being or any of that, but more like they see, okay, this person's they're stronger than I gave them credit for. They've got more to them. There's more sturdiness there. There's more value there. And that just, in a way, it's very discouraging for the narcissist to continue their endeavor on the new person when the discard of you didn't go according to plan and you're okay with it. And it's just so often narcissists might, in the most extreme cases, if they discard you, they're off to somebody new and you're just completely okay with it. In the most extreme cases, they might come back immediately, almost as if they were joking, they didn't mean it. And, they were completely shocked and they realized, oh shit, they can't go through with that. And they come back to your life. But that's like the most extreme. But on the lesser extreme and more normal scenarios is, they'll continue what they're doing with with the new supply, but they don't have their head in the game. They're not in it. Their head's focused on you, whereas their physical reality is with the new person. So they're planning a way back to you, and that's where they come with the Hoover. They sometimes they come back almost immediately, but oftentimes they'll be like, okay, they really screwed things over. They really had a bad separation, the way they left. Things were not well between you two, so they need time to plan a way back in a way that's more that they feel you might be more gullible to, that you might be more receptive to, because they want to maximize their chances of success. But and that's the thing with narcissists, when they devalue you intensely, when they discard you, they're basically telling you they don't care about you. You have nothing to offer them. They could care less if you're alive or dead. That's how they treat you. Narcissists, they push people over the edge. You know, they make people feel like there's nothing to lose. But all of a sudden, if you're fine and okay, they want back. They want to come back, but they don't want to come back because they want a healthy relationship. No, they want to come back because they want to see to it that they harm you. So what you need to make a mental note of is, A, if you allow yourself just to gravitate towards a more positive space, and this is easier once you've understood narcissism, the personality disorder. Obviously, if you're watching YouTube videos or reading articles about it, you understand that. So that's already a great learning. So box tick. Now it's about putting it into practice. And it's not about having a magic wand and making something happen from one day to the next. No, it's about starting to appreciate the simple things. It all starts with appreciating the simple things that you actually have in your life, that the narcissist has no interference with. Just be grateful that you're able to get out of bed every morning. If you have a job, be grateful that you have a job that you can engage with, and just be grateful for the people in your life, and just allow yourself to start thinking about activities and things that might interest you, and just realize that everything that came with a narcissistic relationship, like intense love bombing and that addiction, the trauma bond, that's not healthy, and that will pass in time. And when that passes, you'll be left just with things that are wholesome. You don't need that addiction, but what you do need are things that are wholesome for you. So when you focus on that and you start letting that prevail in your life and become your the main driver of your life, those good things, and obviously challenges are good, but good challenges that are worth your while. When you start doing that, the narcissist does come back. But then, there's little point you developing yourself into this positive space. You become invaluable again as a person and start doing great things. There's little point doing that if you haven't developed boundaries as well. So your recovery has to come with boundaries and saying no to drugs. Yeah, if you want to go drink and do other drugs, I'm not going to judge that, but I'm talking about the narcissistic drug. Leave them out of your life. Say no to the narcissist drug. And you need boundaries for that. Those are the elements. The narcissist discards you, they're happy, but trying to get supply from your misery. But if you bounce out of it, you're doing good, 1 point for you. But that attracts the narcissist back. That puts you into a danger zone. So the second thing you need to think about is making sure they stay away. It might be difficult at first because a part of you really wants them back. Maybe a really big part of you wants them back. But if you're educated on the topic, then you know what to do. So just do the right thing.